Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading, so we look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. Because a lot of times it's not, does the person have feelings for me? Are they coming back? Well, even if they came back, or like, are they going to do the same thing? You know, we want to know, why did they do what they do? And the reason why is because it lets us take a deeper look into ourselves. See, the universe just brings us people, situations, and experiences to help us to evolve and really revert back into the energy of unconditional love. And why I say it like that is because that's your God-given energy. That's the energy that you're born with. Like you don't have any perceptions about what's bad, what's good, what's this, what's that. It's that our society tells us, our families tell us, right? So there's many different realities. We're able to create the reality, but we get blocked. And so again, in order to heal, we're presented with karmic mates. We tend to have more, past life karmic mates than obviously twin flames and life partners, unfortunately. And so learning why we attract who we attract allows us to change who we are and and then we're able to change our energy, and that allows us to draw in different types of energy, so you're not then stuck in a karmic loop. And that loop is, this is just the same thing, just a different person, same experience, different thing. All right. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. I'm going to use my deck, the Psychic Soul Healer deck. But it's the underlining energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they are doing. I have the heat on underneath my desk because I'm like, it was cold, but I'm like, it's drying out my eyeballs with the heater. I'm going to shut it off. Okay. Okay. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, by the way, is in the description box, including my life coaching link. Okay. Let's see what the word of the video is. I hope it's a good word. Determination. Oh, you know what? It's so funny. It's like I felt two things. One right away. You, Scorpio, you're like on your path. You're trying to create something for yourself. And you're determined no matter what it takes to have success, going after your goal. And I also feel like you're in separation from your person that's determined to get back to you. And and I felt that simultaneously. Now the irony is, when you take your focus off this person, which I feel like is what happened because you weren't getting anything, and you put it onto yourself, well, this person felt it, because ESP is through the heart and mind. Soulmates always know when someone's there. This person doesn't really see what's happening within your life right now. You must not be posting that much on social media. You might be hibernating. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, this person doesn't know. And I believe it's driving them crazy, which is actually why there's this sense of, I really want to get back to you, to talk to you. There's an essence of wanting to talk to you. Now, we're going to see why I channeled that just through this little card here. We're going to see why. Let's see why. I'm going to pull from different decks and mix it up today. You know, sometimes the storyline, you just feel like it's very similar. Now, you want to, again, make sure it's different. It's like the cards are like stuck in this bag. I wonder what that means. All right. Everything means something. Person's difficult. Okay, let's see. I wish I could fix things between us. So they're in a place of guilt. You are the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning. So if you're wondering whether or not this person is thinking about you still, obviously they are. And I feel like, you know, everyone can fix things, you know. All they need to do is you know, apologize. So I feel like this person has a big, you know, they're prideful. They don't really like to have to come back and apologize. But I also feel like in the apology is what they're saying is apologizing for undervaluing you, for not knowing your worth, for, you know, thinking it was okay to like treat you as if to disregard you, and because I perceived other people were better or other things were better. So that's why they don't really think that they can fix things, because it's not like, oh, you guys were dating and something happened. No, this person just was a jerk. Like from the moment, from day one, they knew that there was a connection. They undervalued the connection. They knew who you were, because again, you always felt like home, but you were nice to them. You gave them the time. So they always thought, I'll get back to you when I get back to you. I can treat you however I want. I can disregard you. And not just disregard you, but let's see if there's, you know, someone out there that's better. You know, again, they were in their ego. So that's why they don't think that they can fix things, because again, how they were arrogant and they were emotionally unavailable. And I have a feeling that they're normally emotionally unavailable. Someone that likes to be in their ego, someone that's prideful, someone that doesn't like to apologize. Because, like I said, this person could come back and be in your life, but they would have to surrender their ego. They would have to take responsibility for what they did. This person doesn't want to do that. And there's a sense that they know that you're going to, you know, hold them to it. I wish you knew how grateful I am to have met you. I feel like you really influenced this person's life. Now, why? Well, I feel like, first of all, I don't think that this person thought that they could love. And I know that that sounds crazy, but when you have relationship after relationship after relationship, and they're very superficial relationships, because that's what this person would pull in, because they would never take the time, they're emotionally unavailable to take the time to get to know the relationship. The relationship's always fueled by like sex, like passion, like, you know, romance, like fantasy. And then, you know, how long does that last? It doesn't last forever. It's when lust lasts only a certain amount of time, especially if, like, you know, in the beginning you're having sex like 3 or 4 times a day, like, and like where this person like is imbalanced, where, you know, it's like they would throw themselves and then they don't want the relationship at all. It's like almost like it repulses them. They don't want to be in a relationship. So they always had the control. Their ego is really big because, hey, like, I know that, you know, I don't build the emotional connection with people. They actually have an emotional connection to you, and they haven't even been with you. You gave them nothing. And that's the thing. You gave them nothing, and your mind is not on this person. This person normally, everybody's attention is normally on them. It's the persona that they created. So, and you're not doing any of that. I'm working up the courage to contact you. What this person sees is, well, you're on a higher vibration than me. I don't think that they say higher vibration. I think what they say is you're better than I am. It's like if you really knew who was, you wouldn't like who I am, and you wouldn't, because it's like this person like judged you. And the way that they treated you, there was an arrogance to them, and so you are the first person to make me feel this way. No shit. Like, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. This is so this person is confronted with all these feelings and emotions that they're not emotionally intelligent. They're emotionally unavailable. So, it's they're going to be like handicapped in this situation. That's what it's going to feel like. They have a lot of spiritual blocks, is what I'm trying to say, where they're going to get in their own way, because what is the relationship making them do? Well, it makes them feel, it makes them go inside of themselves. Really, our relationships, when they were soulmates, were the mirror. We're the mirror for what needs to be healed a lot of times. Does that person know that, oh, I need healing? If they just know it's uncomfortable, they know that the separation is difficult for them and that they're affected. I don't think that they thought that they would be affected. Let's pull from a different deck and go a little bit deeper. Maybe like the universe can chime in. I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no. And we can understand what the whole spiritual significance is. Whatever you just cleared helped me to shift too. So I feel like, again, learning what unconditional love is, right? Unconditional love is like you can't stay mad. A shift is, I believe, where you let go. When we are stuck with a karmic mate in separation, because the person has an ego, and I don't care that they all are like, I understand who you are now and you changed my life forever. Well, guess what? You're still not doing anything. So spirit says it doesn't mean anything. It's just, affects them first, like on the surface, which is more the you're not, like they have this love, this deep love for you, but it's making them go deep within inside of themselves. And part of that is to let go, to not need to control, to not be held on with. I mean, this person had a bit of anger in the beginning, how they treated you, a bit of anger. Like people that are happy don't feel the need to be arrogant, don't feel the need to put people in classes and say, I don't perceive that you're actually good enough to hang off my arm because don't drive that car. You don't look a certain way. You don't have, it's again, you weren't their type. They weren't looking for it. It's like, and now it's like, it's almost like they see, well, oh my God, you really are a genuine person. I realize who you are now. And so I feel like there was a lot of anger. There was a lot of mixed emotions that this person had because they were processing, and you were just insulted. Like, I don't know who the hell you think you fucking are. Like, but I am not who you think that I am. And this person like now sees that it's almost like, when you do something and you don't know that you do it, and the person that you're like is sitting there and they're just looking at you like, waiting for you to like, this person's like looks up and that's what they see your like face in their head that's just like, yeah, I know exactly how you treated me. That's right, I know exactly. And so this person's like, I don't know like how I can even like approach you. I don't know even how I could fix that. All they know is that they long for your kisses and your touch, which again, that's spirit, because spirit will always be like, well, I have to like, manipulate this person through like love, through passion, through that physical connection. Otherwise, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't want to heal. What benefit? The benefit is I might be able to get to be with you, and you're on a higher consciousness. Then they don't think, oh, you're on a higher consciousness. It's God's thing. I need you to step it up a notch. I need you to move up to this consciousness. And they don't do it. They're in their ego. They're comfortable. No, I like to, be arrogant. I like to live from my ego. Again, it's the passion that does it. The universe is always conspiring to bring us what we need. And sometimes it's sneaky. It brings us something that looks good, but is going to be difficult. It's going to teach us. This person doesn't know where they are, but they know eventually that they're going to come back to you. And you'd be like, that doesn't make any sense at all because they don't do anything. Well, remember, they're living their reality. And their reality is that they realize again who you are again, and who you are is like it's a much deeper connection. They're grateful to met you. Why is that? Because you changed their life, and you changed their life. Like I can actually maybe even have love. And the reason why is because I haven't even given you anything, and there's still this connection. And it actually makes me want to be a better person. It makes me want to. In the fact of walking home to you, they have to evolve into a better person because wouldn't let them come into your life otherwise. This group would understand it's not an easy process, especially when the person has a big ego, because what it means is that they're going to go through a dark night of the soul, and that nothing's in their life is going to make sense because anything that's not of on your vibration or on the way up to your vibration is not going to stay in this person's life. So friends, behaviorisms, but a dark night of the soul usually happens because maybe the person like gets a DWI. I don't know why I just felt that, like almost like someone gets a DWI and they have to spend the night in jail, and it's not the first time that they're dealing with, and it's like other things in their life. It's some habit, it's some behaviorism, it's some person that it's karmic that winds up putting that person in the dark night of the soul. So what do you do in the dark night of the soul? You got nothing to do but think. Well, that's it. And usually what you're thinking about is, how does my life look so fucked up? It's like, how did I get here? And who are half these people that are in my life? And why do I do what I do? And then they reflect on everybody. And so this is why, because you'd be like, why all of a sudden is that person even thinking about me? Because they did sure as hell didn't give me anything. They acted like it didn't really even exist, to be honest with you. And Spirit says, yes, that's what they're ashamed of. And they know that and they actually figured out that you would probably figure out why they didn't give you anything. So again, it's insulting. So this is why they're like, I don't know if you even want to hear from me. How would I come back from that? But understand, you're not the thing that put them into the dark night of the soul. Spirit says, oh no, there was a lot of other shit that this person, they were on a low vibration. Look how big their ego was. They were arrogant. They were connected to people that were that way. They were doing things that were on that low vibration. So drinking too much, partying too much, creating that facade and the illusion. So the universe said enough is enough, so nothing makes sense. I feel like this person is going through a lot of different karmic experiences, such as triggers and old patterns has surfaced, and it hurts them. So in this having to go deep inside of themselves, with again, because this connection makes them do that. It's again, what it has to happen is they have to heal first before they could actually be in a relationship with you. That's why they're like, I'm on my way home. I don't know where I actually are on my way home. I don't know exactly where I am on the journey back to you, but I know I'm walking back to you. But that's because, again, the old triggers and patterns Now, they also feel like the situation is caused by the both of you, not just because of them. Where I feel like that's not 100% true. This person wants you to be almost like forget about how they treated you, or again, it can feel like you still have a wall, but they do feel like part of it is shifted. Um, this person has watched you change from afar. It's like, so part of them feels as if they know you, even though they really haven't taken the time to get to know you. This person is trying to release their attachments to identity so that they can change also, like how they're watching you change and evolve. So what it is this person detached from you. They expected that you would be a little like upset about that, because again, they thought who they were. You did not. What happened is you put the energy into yourself, and they're seeing that you are changing, that there's friends, situations, experiences. So who they thought that you were and who you really are is two totally different people. And this person wasn't looking at you when you were actually in their life. It took for you to leave their life for them to be a stalker, to again watch you on social media, to again realize, wait a minute, this is who you are. But meanwhile, they have attachments, and some of those are probably attachments to karmics that are, they're not really in a relationship, but they're just kind of in this, I don't know what it is. It's like it's an attachment where one person is hoping that that person will come back and be their person, or love them one day, or I don't really understand what it is, but this person wants to release attachments, and attachments is anything that is outside of this person that shouldn't be there, that they're reliant on: drinking, drugs, uh, you know, uh, stuff, like relating to stuff and karmics. So again, you're inspiring this person. This person is afraid that you're going to meet somebody uh, before they're ready to be with you for good, because they're walking home to you, but they don't exactly know, again, why you're there. And that if you want to know the truth, it's like this person is really afraid that the relationship is too good to be true, and that they pull away a lot of times out of fear. But what they realize is that as twin flames, that they're your twin flame, because they still have like this feeling for you, even though you guys really haven't been together, and they don't really know you. In their mind, they think that they know you, and the past life connection will do that. But again, it's to help you both are in each other's life to help you ascend. Is That's what spirit's saying. It's like, yes, that's why this connection is what it is. But in order for them to ascend, they have to actually come back and surrender their ego. Let's see if they're doing that. Let's see if they're going to do that. I mean, they're on their way back home, but let's see what they're doing. Because just because person like has that feeling, it's like, are they gonna fall off the wagon? Are they like, what are the healing is the healing that they're dealing with? Well, she fell out there, and let's see. They do have anxiety, because again, they're not secure within themselves. But as they walk on their journey, they will become strong, and it's because they feel inadequate. And so again, which is why they created that whole persona to begin with, to act like they were so good and needed to be with someone that had all the bells and whistles, someone that they thought was, so great, maybe someone better than you. Again, not never really having a deep connection like this before. And then it terrifies them. So it's like they have to go in deep. They have to realize that, again, what does it all mean? I mean, your relationships really do teach you so much about yourself, and all those past relationships that didn't work out, and the first relationship that they had with their mother and their father. So again, whatever that environment was, like, which is what made up this person's ego, which we saw was big. So, like I said, but so understand it's because of the overcompensation of feeling inadequate. And obviously, when we feel inadequate, we have anxiety. We don't feel like, so the process may be very slow. You'll feel like it's slow because there's a thing called stuck and stupid when you're again like in fight, flight, freeze. Like, that's what a spiritual block looks like. It's like, oh, the person just gets in their own way. It's like, yeah, they do, because they feel inadequate. So they're always trying to come from that mask, and they're not coming from their true self, their higher self. They're coming from, this persona. So of course you're always going to have anxiety because it's always going to feel weird. The person is afraid that they're going to get rejected. Yes, again, which that's a childhood trauma that has nothing to do with you, but that's what they're battling. I'm not good enough. Abandonment. It's like that's on a deep level. I let you in, and you really see who I am. You're not really gonna like me because I don't like me. Which that means that there's parts of this person that are fragmented, that they don't know who they are. So you'd have to be real careful not to get yourself into a codependent connection. Again, twin flamey connection means that this person is ready to do the work. Spirit brought you into this person's life, possibly because you're again creating right now. You're determined to make something happen for yourself. And Spirit says, well, guess what, darling? You need a little help in one area. So we're going to bring this person in. They're your twin flame. They're really good at that. But whatever you're not good at, you're great at what you do, but we're going to bring this person in. They have completely opposite energy from you, completely different. Going to be like your other half. That's what it's going to feel like. It's going to be great. It's going to be great, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of passion because it's going to help you transmute those spiritual blocks. But, you want to kill the person sometimes, but don't worry about it. You're going to create and, because it's all about ascending, getting yourselves back to a place of, again, unconditional love. But again, this person is doing their work. They're trying to get to a place of where they feel that they wouldn't be rejected. This is a big deal for them to be transparent. You're like, when they said, oh, I wish I could fix things. You can. You're making it more difficult. Well, we see why. Because again, that we see what the spiritual block is. Now, you might say, well, what am I supposed to just roll out the red carpet after the person treated me like a dog meat? And Spirit says, no, we'll get to that. But understand, like, what takes the process too is, again, they have to create new habits out of old habits. Again, that's alchemy, right? So, and I feel that that's what you're doing too. So no, it's not that you're supposed to do that. It's that you find your balance. It's all about balance. Again, when we have spiritual blocks, it's because they're also awakening wounds, obviously, that are inside of us from the past also. So the fact that this person didn't treat you right, well, it's how it made you feel. So, and if it made you feel inadequate, again, or was it spiritual insight? In this situation, it was, I think, yes, it made you feel like this person didn't value you, but you knew that you valued yourself. It's like you had spiritual insight. You had spiritual insight to understand that this person just like wasn't on your vibration, that they were actually insecure. So you're able to look at them through the lens of unconditional love, which is what the soulmate twin flame connection is about. It's about being able to look at the person that kind of betrays you in the beginning, because they're not acting nice in the beginning. I'll tell you that. They're a runner and a chaser. They act like, someone that plays a lot of games and it's all afraid, because again, they're terrified to like go deep with inside of themselves. Is how you make them feel. It's like, holy shit, this is a real love. Like this is like a no joke. um, I don't have control over this. So that fear. So again, I feel like spirit brought you into this person's life because it is a holy connection. You see, there's a holy connection. There's divine favor. So it's almost like one person had to know that. And clearly, we can see that this person that you're connected to is not the spiritual one. It's like they're, again, like they don't feel comfortable in relationships. They get in their own way. They make the relationship worse than it actually is. They feel inadequate. Where Spirit says, but you don't feel that way. You know? So Spirit saying something in between 9 to 12 months. So I feel like this person has been on their healing journey for a while. And it's slowly, like, again, building up. Like this person's doing is doing has done like the self-improvement. But what they see is again, and we see that word determination again, where they're determined to come back to you. So they have to do work. And the work really is, again, mastery of self. So I believe that this person comes back into your life as a emperor. Like if I was to pull a tarot card, that's what it would be. Like, again, they're coming in to be to be your divine counterpart. And that means it's a holy connection. And it's one that where this person was once unemotional and cold and calculating. Again, this is their natural energy. So there's someone that's very good with business. There's someone that's very good with structure. There's someone that's very good with methodical, a little bit of boring energy. So just, again, very good with structures. This person does everything the same time every day. There's someone that, is very structured. So I feel like they, again, are going to help you where Spirit says, yes, it's going to be about you like setting boundaries like with this person. It's that really when they come back, you want to know, how can I possibly let them come back after they did what they did? And really Spirit's saying is because they're unemotional. It's to realize that their love language might not be that, as warm. It's going to take time for them to actually be able to express how they feel. But it's also for you to set boundaries. Really, that's really what it is. It's to also be able to say when things are not working, because this person already feels, again, that they'll be rejected. It's the way that you say it. So it's a very tricky thing, because you'd be like, well, what does it mean that I have to be the teacher and I'm getting this energy that's opposite of mine? And it's that this person, there is a spiritual connection. You have a cord with this person, a spiritual cord. But because they don't really communicate that well and they're not able to express themselves and they tend to play games, you always say it's not working. It's almost like where it's just like, if anything, you feel rejected by this person because, again, they're so afraid that you're going to reject them. So it's the only way that you could actually have this person back into your life, Spirit says, is to set boundaries. Otherwise, the relationship is just gonna, like, it's not gonna work out, is what Spirit's saying. It's also to, the relationship is really to help you both go within to heal. Because I also feel like you're like this relationship could trigger you also with your anxiety and also where you would get irritated. Now, I'm just telling you this because soulmate twin flame connection does mean that there's passion, but there's also the wounds that are going to be, that are going to come up. This person's your mirror, you're their mirror. And so there will be those triggers. So I mean, spirit would never give you anything that it didn't think that you can handle. But we know that in order to like transmute that energy of fear, it's through like creation, and and so this person is going to, again, I feel like, make amends. They are going to come into your life. They're going to extend the olive branch eventually. They are coming back, and that's the first sign of the person actually surrendering their ego. And we have to say why, again, because they want to because they want to collaborate. They want to, again, like you said, it's that creating together, to collaborate, to do something together, to be together. But it's more than just to be together, it's to do something together, to collaborate. And that's through the art of creation, because through the act of birthing something, you actually transmute those negative blocks. The fact that you're the twin flame, you would be, again, teaching this person through, again, how you are. So like I said, it's not an easy connection. It's one that helps, where you both refine each other, okay? It's to help to cultivate through each other's gifts. So is it a forever relationship? And sometimes no, because it's a difficult one, but it is one that helps you, again, transform. Is that's what the twin flame connection is. It's like there are just certain wounds that you can't heal on your own. And they're second chakra ones. And it was because you were taught that love was transactional. You were taught that love, like, again, that who you were, where you weren't. This is all about alchemy. Like I said, that's what it is, to help ascend, to help you transmute. It's not the end of the connection, it's the beginning of the connection. And it's the beginning of the connection because the person's ready and you're ready to actually do the work to live your best life, to transcend. But it's not an easy connection because, like I said, there are wounds, and those wounds are old, and we wouldn't be able to heal them on our own. But it's like your twin flame, it like holds holds space for you regardless of whatever you show them. It's like, and vice versa, because it's like, I love this person unconditionally. It's like, even though I wish I didn't, a lot of times. And it's about just, finding, like, the exploration. Like, this is like unknown, moving into, like, like new territory, but it's to, again, help you see things from a new perspective, which is what is healing. Healing is to see something differently, to see yourself differently, to see the situation differently. That love is not transactional. That love is, when it's real love, the love that is supernatural, the love that transcends time and space, the love that actually allows us to birth something as simple as a child or creation. Well, that's unconditional love. And that's the strongest energy in the world, not the love where this person had a bunch of passionate connections, but again, they fizzled out. Wasn't based on love, was based on lust, was based on fantasy. Like with you, it's not based on fantasy. It's, if anything, it's like the person's like, I want to kill this person sometimes. It's, again, this person triggers me. I can't walk away. I don't have control. I don't have, and it's a love that makes you surrender. even though you don't want to. It's like, because at the end of the day, it's like, what's more important? I don't really fucking care. I just want to be with a person. It's like, and Spirit says again, that's what unconditional love is, to surrender, the ego. To, again, it doesn't mean that you put up with shit. This person, again, is ready to step into that twin flame. That's why they're stepping into it, but it's work. It's like, how do you think we transmute it? It doesn't just magically, oh, I'm within connection, and it transmutes itself like you're on Star Trek, like getting beamed down, and you see all those, like, you become material, like, specks in the air. No, it's like you're doing the work, like with the person. You're teaching each other. It's like you're loving each other enough to teach each other. Okay, like that's what it means. And really, Spirit saying, and it's like ESP, okay, through the heart and mind. There's just an inner knowing that it's, again, and yes, it is about creating the future, but it's like this connection is all about that ESP connection, okay? It's the past, it's the present, it's the future. It's, again, this past life connection. Again, you're in the now, you're going to create something in the future. This person, again, it's they help you. They're a main, like a main character in your play, per se. Like that Spirit saying, this is what it is. It's that intuition, the inner knowing that it's like, I'm just supposed to do this. We're just supposed to do this. It doesn't logically make sense. If anything, it logically doesn't make sense, because the person's saying, well, I wasn't really looking for it. You weren't my type. This isn't an easy connection for sure. This is a connection that triggers the shit out of me, one that I have absolutely no control over. I have to surrender. Who the hell wants to surrender? And they feel like you don't have any control over anything. That's the whole point. You don't. And that love is not transactional. It just is. And so, again, that's when we know that it's one that's spiritual. It's like this, our sixth sense is connected. So we see that inner knowing is what guides us. That's the claircognizance. That's how we know that it's a spiritual connection. And one that helps us, again, to create awareness for ourselves. So where Spirit is just saying, again, through assessing each other and through, it's not like you're really analyzing, but it's like you become more aware. And that's what Spirit's saying. So it's like, yes, eventually you will have communication, because this person knows that the relationship needs like restoration. They know that they need it. It's like, but they, but understand part of this is that they're clearing family patterns right now. And in order to be with you, they have to get out of the past. So that's what they're working on right now, and Spirit's saying. So it's like, this is a relationship, that a twin flame connection, where you are not with the person right now at all. You see, there's a lot of work being done right now in separation for preparation for the transmutation process. But Spirit's saying, oh, but they have to be a clear conduit for me to work through. See, the prana, the energy, is also spirit. And when we have spiritual blocks, we don't have as much energy. We don't have, so in the whole birthing process, the whole, twin flame journey, it's all about creation. It's all about transmuting those blockages. And as you do, yes, your wounds are getting triggered. You're actually having to hold space while you're being triggered. Sometimes you're triggering the other person. But the whole point is, you love each other enough to work through it. You have something other than just the relationship to focus on. You have the birthing process. What are you contributing to humanity? Which Spirit says, How do you give and receive of love through your free will? How do you create yourself? It's through that birthing process. That second chakra, where you both were taught that love was conditional. Well, what you learn clearly through the connection is that love is not conditional, and that it's again that there's many different forms of love, and that it's all about to help you heal, to restore you, again, to restore you what? Back into the energy of unconditional love. You had shadows. The second chakra was, I can't be loved, I feel inadequate, there's something wrong, whatever it is, because again, you were taught that love was conditional, is what spirit said. So that's not your identity. Or you just, I did wasn't love them, it wasn't this. It was to not, creating my life because I was caught up in whatever trauma spirit's saying. It said that left room for the transmutation process, which is saying, I am enough. This is what love is, and becoming your true selves, which is what the twin flame is about. The twin flames have a lot in common. They're not just opposites, they have a lot in common. It's the experiences that they went through, the environment, how they grew up, the trauma that they endured. So this is part of that connection of, like, I know you relate to me. And it's like, I get it, but doesn't mean that they handle things the same exact way. They don't. It's like at the time that this person was in your life, they knew that they couldn't give you the love they knew that you truly deserved. And that's really what it was, because they were they were spiritually blocked. They were again broken in a lot of many different ways. They really do love you, but at the time, but at this time, the timing isn't right to be together, and that's because they're healing. So that's why it's like, and I don't think that they're saying, hey, listen, I'm healing right now. I feel like this person's just going to come back, and they're going to come back, and maybe they'll share, with a little bit about their experience, with the healing. But I feel like this person is kind of new, the whole being transparent, so it's all about that twin flame journey. That card just fell out. It's like it's the twin flame journey, and that what's going to happen is it's like they're just going to come back like all of a sudden. And that's always like divine timing, right? It's like they don't know how they're going to do it. They just know that it's kind of like they have an epiphany, and then that's how they know. It's like the intuition hits, and it's almost like it's a knowing. So we have to say, what are you supposed to be doing during this process? Like, what was the whole point of it for you? We see what it dug up inside of them, the feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of not good enough, the feelings of, what, again, abandonment, rejection. But like, what are you doing during this time? Like, what was the whole spiritual significance? So we look at the inner child wounds first, and then we see again, what are you supposed to be doing? Again, we see card number 1, rage, overwhelmed, shame. These are magic, neglect, and water. Well, again, I always say water is all about that second chakra. It's about going with the flow of life. It's the passion for life. But water is, again, represents that second chakra, which is related to our identity, who we perceive that we are. And so, and it affects our emotional center. So I feel like you grew up in an environment where emotionally you didn't get anything. You were neglected. And not just neglected, I feel like you were brought up by somebody that was always angry, always somebody that just everything was a problem all the time. And they were rageful and they made you rageful because, again, there was always a problem all the time. It was like I feel like the parent had a lot of anxiety and it looked like rage, but it just created a lot of confusion. And so you couldn't really think for yourself. I feel like, again, you were more concerned about that parent's emotional well being than your own. And so you were used to emotionally not getting, and also, the feelings of shame. Hey, everybody. And the feelings of shame of not being good enough, not being enough, not being neglected, first of all, is kind of shameful, right? It's embarrassing when we have people that show so little effort, that don't show up for us, that are too consumed with their own emotion to show up, or have a judgment about who we are because, again, it doesn't fit their narrative. You're just an angry person, that they were a parent that wasn't strong in themselves and they had a lot of anxiety and they channeled it out through rage and created a very a lot of anxiety in the environment. It was very overwhelming. So the child wasn't becoming a child. They weren't, again, being a child, I should say. They were being an adult. They were feeling like they needed to be an adult. But unfortunately, when a child grows up that way, they never feel comfortable in their own skin. It's like they don't feel comfortable, where, again, they wind up reliving the energy of shame. But that's almost like an inherited thing, that I feel like the parent had that. And so, again, and also projected that onto the child, because in the anger, in the rage. So again, in the trauma is where the magic happens. See, that's the irony. See, the child that survives thrives. So even though the child was afraid to go up against that parent that had rage, and where it's just easier to be quiet, to hide, to blend in, to not create waves when we have a parent that's not balanced. Again, we become more concerned about their needs, making them happy, because our happiness is related to their happiness. So Spirit's saying it's, again, that affected that second chakra, but how does a child deal with it? Well, they're not creating. And so what are they doing? They're checking out. They're in the imagination. That's what they're doing, because they can't run away. They're stuck with the parent. They're stuck dealing in that environment. So they check out and they go into their imagination. And how do you manifest? Through the thoughts that you think, the emotions that you have. So the child that went through trauma can manifest easily. However, they need to heal their trauma, because the universe doesn't know the difference between, no, I don't want that, or yes, I want that. It just knows whatever the focus is. But when you heal your spiritual blocks, they turn into spiritual gifts. So transmuting shame, obviously, and neglect is just giving ourselves the emotional support that we need, and that water sign is to become ourselves. So emotionally, you get what you need when you become yourself. And then to ground it, you can transmute that energy. But we say, again, that's one way. But what does Spirit say that we were doing during this time? And really, Spirit's saying it's like right now, it's all about you living authentically and boldly, unafraid to be yourself, live out loud, which, growing up in an environment with a parent that was rageful, that was controlling, well, guess what? You were not living out loud. You were living quietly. You were blending in. So you might be like, I don't even know what that looks like. And Spirit says, you probably don't. So it's, again, being like childlike, seeing the things that you love, connecting to people, And again, just being true to you, to help, again, to light the darkness, that what you're doing is you're shining a light on those spiritual blocks. That's You're going with inside of you and letting those spiritual blocks kind of lead you to your own healing, is what Spirit's saying again. So that's part of your healing, which makes sense because Spirit says it's all about you're still going through that transformation process. It's that this is to help you, like, yes, in separation, this is what was happening. You again, like, utilize that magic, but it's all about the healing process for you too in separation, right? Where Spirit's saying it's like light the darkness, but it's also like live boldly, be true to yourself. It's like be strong in yourself, because guess what? Transformation. And we knew that because again, the twin flame journey does that, but Spirit says, but before your twin comes in, you have to get yourself up to a certain level that you're ready for the twin flame connection. And so that's what's happening now. Like, things are happening, even though you don't see that they're happening, is what Spirit is saying. So don't think it's not. It's all about Spirit saying it's all like in my time. It's not your time. It's in divine timing. And you'll be like, well, when is that? And Spirit says, when your healing is done. It's not just when this person's healing's done. It's like there's a lot of work being done in separation right now. You don't see it, but it's like I'm changing this person. I'm helping to change this person. I'm helping you change. But it wasn't all horrible, but it's how you're reparenting yourself. You're becoming yourself. You're getting strong within yourself. You weren't strong enough within yourself. If you're not strong within yourself, you're going to get back into a connection and you're going to wind up in a codependent connection, is what Spirit is saying. It's like the same as this person. There's a fine line between trauma bond and soulmate twin flame connection. Again, soulmate twin flame connection, they're ready to do the work. They've done the work. They've ready to step into that best version of themselves. Where that trauma bond connection is they're stuck in a mindset, in a narrative that doesn't transcend to unconditional love. So Spirit says, so it's all about right now practicing gratitude. And because again, when you are practicing gratitude, you're opened to like the gifts of the universe. You're happy for everything. It's like, understand, a lot of people get in relationships and all they do is complain and they want to know why their relationships don't work out. It's again, so have gratitude. Be aware of the light in your life. Direct your thoughts to the beauty in and around you, meaning like focus on that. Focus on the gifts. It's again, because like this isn't going to be the happiest relationship all the time. Twin flame relationship isn't. But it's again to remember again that like how blessed you are, just even without this person in your life, to give thanks to God for every little thing that brings you joy. You enlighten with your thoughts. Riches surround you, and appreciate all that life brings to you. And so the riches could be everything from the birds to nature, to like the mailman, to whoever the hell, like again, people that influence your life, people that touch your life, people that make up your life. Again, to really know the goodness. That Spirit saying is like to yes, enjoy this time. And to know the goodness, to overcome your imperfections, polish your character, and feed on the positive. Free yourself. Allow your goodness to manifest and become a source of joy, which again, that's what you're supposed to be doing right now during separation. So that again, you're on a level of vibration where you know your worth. that you're not always going to be around this person, that again, that you manifest your goodness in all different directions, and through gentleness, like, and offering unconditional love and understanding and love to yourself and others. And you can do that when you are, again, expressing yourself through your goodness. Now your goodness is your talents, your hobbies, that like how you want to contribute. That could be every Saturday I go down to the school and I help out, or every, Tuesday, go down to the market and I help, whatever it is. It's to give that joy, to give that happiness, to give that, to know your worth, to make a life for yourself before this person even comes into your life. Because again, you don't want someone just coming into your life and becoming your life, and that's not going to happen if you are busy, like, with all different things going on in your life. That means that person will know, well, that's what I need to do. See, the twin flame doesn't say. They are the example. They are that person that again teaches through example. Because again, when we explain, a lot of times the person gets triggered, but again, through the joys and the passions of your own life, that this person again is like, well, I want to experience those things too. I want that too. And that's why, again, eventually they wind up creating something together, and they birth something together. And again, they bring their talents to each other. And that's what really Spirit's saying. It's all it's all to help restore, to bring them back into the energy of unconditional love. And like I said, it's not an easy journey. And it's one where we saw that this person tried to like not deal with it for a long time. And you possibly didn't want to deal with it either. You detach from it after a certain amount of time too. After a while, it's too hard. So it really will not work unless both parties, like, egos are surrendered. So we see that this person is going to come around. It's going to be in divine timing. Keep working on yourself to be the best version of yourself. And believe me, that relationship will be a very passionate one, and one that, again, definitely transforms you. I'm going to leave that there. Let's see what you'll say. Wow, it just tuned in and it resonates already. My last relation would let myself reaching, and I'm working on myself every day, and it's not easy, and I'm struggling, but I'll get there. Yes, it is. Healing's a journey. It's an unfoldment process. But no, it all starts with, I always say, make it easy on yourself. It's hard because if you don't have, like, any passions, hobbies, or interests, if you were never allowed to be a child, and so you never really consistently put energy towards anything, it might feel uncomfortable because, like I said, logically it doesn't make sense. But understand, the universe makes a way where there is no way, when we're, again, in that energy of love, doing what we love. And that's the best way to work on yourself, the easiest way to work on yourself, a way that you'll continually emotionally get fed. That's my advice to you, Melissa. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.